Before we leave our skeleton friend here, I want to talk about the hip, but the last video there was something I didn't mention. I want to make that more clear. If you have restriction in the, let's say, the sacroiliac joint, but you're still living in a body that has to bend all the way forward and back and rotate and that type of thing. If you have this part that's not working, you will be putting more pressure and asking the joint above to do more of the work. And that's when you start to stress and strain. It can challenge the disc. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense, is that ultimately if you have one area stuck, another area is going to have to do more. It's kind of like being on a committee of 4 people and 2 of them are on vacation and 1 doesn't want to be on the committee. You're the one doing all the work and you're the one looking like you're having a mental breakdown. It's not always the person having the mental breakdown that's the problem, as in the case of a disc. It's sometimes you just got to get the sacroiliac joints opening to take that pressure off. And not only the sacroiliac joints, but the intent of this video is to talk about the hips. When people say their hips, they grab all parts of their body, but really our hips are right down here, and those are the things that you can feel when you're marching. And Mr. Skeleton, the hip is here, and you can see him coming up. This joint has a ton of range of motion, or it's supposed to. You're supposed to be able to do all kinds of things with it. This is the head of the femur, and this little divot is called the acetabulum. But I bring this up here because sometimes people with low back pain come in, and it's not their back that's a problem, or the joints in the back. It's actually that there's so much stiffness in and around the hip that, again, they don't have a wiggle woggle in their hip because of tight musculature. So therefore, again, more stress on the back, more back pain. And this is where massage therapy really, really does great work, is getting in on these big, huge muscles and opening that up. Chiropractic manipulation of this joint also is really, really helpful. So as we work with you, as we examine you, we're going to be able to step back and say, yes, you have probably 30% of your problem is stiffness of the hip. So here's how you can stretch that during the day or whatever. We're going to make sure you're educated around that. Thank you very much for your time.